Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is Friday, April 20th, 2012. I'm going to go through the results of the live trading room this morning. Quickly, these are the results. We're down 7 ticks on the Russell, at least right now we are. We are up 84 ticks on the gold, and we are up 6 ticks on the YM, or 6 points on the YM. Alright, now we can go through all those charts individually and see what happened here. Alright, the Russell this is the Russell over here that I'm looking at, and it gave a lot of opportunity this morning. Our first trade was a loss. You see right here we had bullish divergence, we had an up close, it pulled back and stopped us out. Our second opportunity was a short trade, and here we missed it over there. We got the second opportunity right here. We had bearish divergence down here and a down close right there after testing the BBC. Actually, the down close was right there. And we took that for 10 ticks profit. Alright, we had all this divergence in here, but we didn't take any trades in here. Then we had bullish divergence in here. We had a test of the BBC with an up close. Again, we missed that. The market went pretty flat in here for a while. It was a little tricky today. All the trading was a little tricky today. But the market went flat in here for a while when it got inside the weekly trading zone. Once it got out of it, we had some bullish divergence, a test of the BBC with an up close for some opportunity on the long side. Then we had a couple of trades over here that we took. This one was a losing trade. We had bearish divergence. We shorted here, stopped out there. We followed it up with another trade in the same direction, the same divergence with a down close right here. We ended up taking a break even on that trade, even though right after we took the break even, the price went down through our profit target. Alright, and that brings us current on the Russell. We didn't do anything with the ES today. We didn't do anything with soybeans. We didn't do anything with NQ. We didn't do anything with corn. We didn't do anything with crude oil. We didn't do anything with a whole bunch of markets today because they were all pretty flat. But we did trade the gold. Now, let me show you the gold. Alright. Right in here, we had divergences down here, but we didn't have any trades set up with them. Alright, right here we had bullish divergence in the test of the BBC with an up close. We didn't get into that trade. Over here, we had bearish divergence with a down close. The MA1 held it, and that stopped us out. Alright, so we lost a little bit on that one. We didn't have anything right here telling us to get into this short trade. Alright. Now, right over here, we had some bearish divergence, and you can't see it because it's under the arrows, but we tested the BBC with a down close, and that stopped us out. After it stopped us out, it did drop down to our profit target. There was another one right in here that we took. We ended up getting a break even on that. Now, let's see, scrolling through, there was a lot of trades with no follow-through right in here. Okay, there was bearish divergence down here. It tested the BBC with a down close. It only went a few ticks. Over here we had a bullish divergence. The MA1's above. It came down, tested the BBC with an up close, and price moved up nicely on that one. We had a couple of bullish divergences in here with no opportunity. It went flat for a while in here, and then we got into this trade over here. Now we had multiple contracts on this one. That's how we ended up with 84 ticks profit. We had a nice bearish divergence here, and it pulled up and tested the BBC. We shorted it here. We didn't have a target on this. We had our target open. So, I can show you on the DOM what I mean when I say that. You see, this is the target part. This is our stop. Our stop was 8 ticks, and our target is not checked. So we didn't have a target on there. So when it dropped, it just fell right off the DOM, right out of view in the DOM. And when I saw it drop and start to pull back up a little bit, I just hit exit all at market and cancel, and it got me out with a nice profit. I don't know exactly how many ticks profit we made on that trade, but it was a nice profit on that one. Okay, and that was pretty much it. From here we have bullish divergence right here. There's a trade setting up right here. Bullish divergence with an up close after the test of the BBC. So this right here is the spot. Okay. And that was it on the gold. All right, I'm going to look at the YM. I'll show you a couple things on the YM. One, in the partners meeting last night, we were looking at the 1500 contract and how it relates to the cycle portion of the slingshot down here. Okay. When the cycle is blue and headed up and you get a nice pullback down to the BBC after the MA1 is given a bullish cross, that will often give you a nice bump upward. Okay, I don't remember how many ticks we said we had in here. 12, 890 up to, I think it was 150 or something like that. 130. Something like that from the first bump down here. All right, 891 all the way up to 13,022. Yeah, 132. 131. Anyway, that was one of the things that we looked at last night in the partners meeting. I did take some YM trades this morning. Actually, I only took one YM trade this morning. It was over here. I'll just show you the divergences anyway. We had bearish divergence here, a pull back up to the BBC with a down close, and it moved down. Again, the same thing right in here, but the cycle was moving up here, and the MA1 was moving up here. Okay, over here we had bullish divergence, a pullback and test to the BBC with an up close, and it moved up. Over here, bearish divergence, a test to the BBC with a down close, and it moved down. Bullish divergence in here, test to the BBC, and it moved up. Now right in here, we were at or within the weekly trading zone, so we weren't really doing much right in here. We're going to wait until it got out of that area. The one trade that I did actually take on the YM was over here. I shorted, we had bearish divergence, I shorted the down close, and I took profit right over here. Okay, and that is the YM. We didn't trade soybeans this morning because they just weren't really moving around in a way that they were tradable. But I will show you the corn, because last night in the partners meeting we spent a lot of time looking at the different grains. And Cliff, one of our partners, spent some time explaining the grains to us, so I thought we should at least look at the grains today. Soybeans unfortunately didn't give us anything, but the corn, right here we had bearish divergence. I'll show you. Right there, a bearish divergence, and right there, a bearish divergence. I'll pull back up and test of the BBC there and there. All right, with the down close. Now, that was one way to look at it. And another way to look at it that we went over in the meeting last night was to just trade in the direction of the BBC. Okay, so when all three of these lines, excluding the cycle down here, but the other lines are all headed down, look for a close down below the 5 EMA and below the BBC to go short. So like right here, I'll point it right there and right there. If you hadn't gone short in these other positions here, using the divergences, those were opportunities right in there. Okay. And that pretty much wraps it up.